When you think about money, what comes to mind? A crisp bill? The satisfying jingle of coins in your pocket? Maybe just a plastic card you tap? For most of us, currency is a very specific, tangible thing. But what if I told you that the universe of what we call money is vastly larger, more creative, and frankly, more fascinating than you could ever imagine? Let's take a journey back in time, long before the first mints struck the first coins, to a period when value wasn't standardized by governments, but by something far more fundamental: shared human belief and necessity. The story of currency is not just a story of economics, it's a story of human ingenuity. It's a testament to our ability to look at the world around us, the natural world, and assign value to it. Ancient civilizations, separated by vast oceans and millennia, independently came up with brilliant and sometimes bizarre solutions to the problem of trade. They didn't have gold or silver readily available, so they turned to what they did have. From giant stones that couldn't be moved to beans you could eat, the history of money is a treasure trove of unexpected artifacts. So, buckle up. We're about to explore the cosmic connections between geology, botany, biology, and the very concept of wealth. We'll investigate how societies functioned using currencies that might seem absurd to us today, but which were perfectly logical within their own cosmic context. We're going beyond the coin purse and into the very fabric of ancient economies. It's a story written in stone, salt, and shells, and it reveals profound truths about what we, as a species, truly value. And as always, we're going to keep looking up and back in time. Let's begin our journey on a small island in the Pacific, the island of Yap. Here we find one of the most extraordinary forms of currency ever conceived by the human mind: rye stones. These aren't pebbles you can carry in a pouch. We're talking about massive, solid limestone discs, some as large as a car, with a hole carved in the center. Imagine trying to pay for your groceries with something that weighs several tons. The sheer scale is mind-boggling, a testament to the immense effort required to create and transport them. These stones weren't even quarried on Yap. They were carved from limestone deposits on the distant island of Palau, hundreds of miles away across the open ocean. The value of a rye stone wasn't just about its size, though that was certainly a factor. It was a complex equation involving its craftsmanship, the smoothness of its surface, the perfection of its circular shape, and most importantly, its history. A stone's story mattered. Who carved it? How many people died on the perilous sea voyage to bring it back to Yap? Was it owned by a famous chief? Each stone had a unique oral history, a ledger of its past transactions and its lineage. This narrative was as much a part of its value as the physical stone itself, a kind of cosmic blockchain etched in memory rather than code. So, how did you even use something you couldn't move? That's the beautiful part. You didn't. When a rye stone was exchanged, say, for a dowry, or to settle a tribal dispute, the stone itself often remained exactly where it was. The ownership just changed. The entire community served as a public ledger, simply acknowledging that the giant stone in front of so-and-so's house now belonged to someone else. There's even a story of a rye stone that was lost at sea during a storm, yet it continued to be traded for generations. Everyone agreed it was still there, on the ocean floor, and that was enough. It was a currency based entirely on shared belief and social memory. Now, let's travel across the Pacific and back in time to the heart of Mesoamerica, to the Aztec Empire. Here, the basis of the economy wasn't a rock, but something far more fragile and delicious: the cacao bean. For the Aztecs and the Maya before them, cacao was more than just the source of a bitter, frothy drink reserved for nobility and warriors. It was a gift from the gods, a sacred substance used in rituals and ceremonies. But this divine bean also had a very earthly purpose. It was the lifeblood of their marketplace, a standardized, widely accepted form of currency. Unlike the monumental rice stones, cacao beans were the perfect transactional currency. They were small, portable, and countable. You could make change. This allowed for a vibrant and complex market system to flourish. A turkey might cost you 100 beans. A canoe could be bought for a certain number of sacks. You could even purchase services, paying a porter a set amount of cacao beans to carry goods for you. This wasn't simple barter, it was a sophisticated monetized economy, all powered by a humble bean. The system was so detailed that there were even established exchange rates for different goods, creating a stable economic environment. Of course, a currency you can eat presents some unique challenges. For one, you have the constant temptation to consume your own wealth. But more seriously, it created the opportunity for counterfeiting. Clever forgers would take avocado pits or other similar-looking seeds, carve them to the right shape, and sometimes even coat them with clay to mimic the appearance of a genuine cacao bean before trying to pass them off in the marketplace. The existence of counterfeiters is, in a strange way, the ultimate proof of a successful currency. It means the real thing was valuable enough to be worth faking. It tells us that for the Aztecs, these little beans were serious business. Our cosmic journey now takes us not to one place, but across continents. We're looking for something small, beautiful, and incredibly durable: the cowrie shell. Specifically, the shells of the money cowrie. For thousands of years, these small porcelain-like shells, harvested primarily from the warm waters of the Indian Ocean, served as a major international currency. Their use stretched from West Africa to China, creating a vast, interconnected economic web long before the age of exploration as we know it. What made them so special? Well, they were nearly perfect as a form of money. Think about the properties you'd want in a currency. It should be durable, and these shells are tough. It should be portable, and they are lightweight and small. It should be easily recognizable and difficult to forge, which their unique shape ensures. And crucially, the supply must be somewhat limited. You couldn't just walk down to any beach and pick them up. Their primary source was the distant Maldives. This inherent rarity gave them a stable, intrinsic value. In Africa, they were used to buy everything from food and cloth to land, and even people, in the horrific context of the slave trade, where European traders adopted the local currency. The scale of the cowrie trade is staggering. In the 19th century, hundreds of tons of cowrie shells were being shipped from the Indian Ocean to ports in West Africa to fuel the colonial economy. In some regions, like Uganda, taxes were paid in cowries well into the 20th century. In China, during the Shang dynasty, they were so important that the Chinese character for money or wealth is actually a pictograph of a cowrie shell. This isn't just a quaint historical fact, it's a linguistic fossil, preserving the memory of a time when the ocean's bounty was the very symbol of value itself, connecting disparate cultures through a shared medium of exchange. Let's turn now from objects of beauty to a substance of absolute necessity. One so fundamental to human life that its value was once equivalent to gold. I'm talking about salt, sodium chloride. Today, we complain if there's too much of it in our food, but for most of human history, getting enough salt was a primary struggle. It's not just a flavor enhancer, it's an essential nutrient for our bodies to function, and before the invention of refrigeration, it was the world's most important food preservative, allowing people to store meat and fish for long periods. This made it a strategic resource of immense power. The value of salt was so high that it was used directly as a form of payment. Roman soldiers, for instance, were sometimes paid a portion of their wages in salt. This allowance was known as a salarium, the Latin root from which we derive our modern word salary. So, the next time you get your paycheck, you can thank the Roman legions and their need for this precious white crystal. Entire cities like Salzburg in Austria, which literally means salt fortress, were founded and grew wealthy based on their control of local salt mines. Trade routes, like the ancient Via Salaria in Italy, were established specifically for transporting salt. This wasn't just a European phenomenon. In the Sahara Desert, merchants from North Africa would trade blocks of rock salt, pound, for gold from the empires of West Africa. Imagine that, a block of salt being worth its weight in gold. To the merchants crossing the desert, salt was life. To the societies in the humid south where salt was scarce, it was a priceless commodity. This tells you something profound about value. It's not inherent, it's determined by context, by need, by the laws of biology and chemistry. For our ancestors, this simple mineral was, quite literally, the salt of the earth and the foundation of their wealth. For our final example, we go back to the very dawn of settled society, to a form of currency that's still with us today, at least in concept. I'm talking about livestock. Before we had mines for metal or quarries for stone, we had domesticated animals, cattle, sheep, goats, camels. For pastoral and early agricultural societies around the globe, from the Maasai in Africa to the ancient Indo-Europeans, animals were the original measure of wealth. They were living, breathing, walking assets. This form of wealth is so ancient that it's embedded in our language. Think about it. The word cattle shares a root with chattel and capital, all relating to property and wealth. The Latin word for money, pecunia, comes from pecus, meaning cattle. Our word fee traces its origins back to the Old English fio, which meant both money and cattle. This isn't a coincidence. It's a linguistic echo of a time when your net worth was counted in hooves and horns. A cow wasn't just a source of milk and meat. It was a unit of account. You could pay a bride price in cattle, settle a legal dispute with a gift of sheep, or measure a king's power by the size of his herds. Unlike a coin or a shell, livestock has a unique advantage. It's a productive asset. It reproduces. A herd of cattle, if managed well, grows over time. It's a currency with a built-in interest rate, a living investment portfolio. Of course, it also has its drawbacks. Animals get sick, they can be stolen, and they're not exactly divisible. You can't easily make change from a live cow. But in societies where survival depended on agriculture and animal husbandry, there was nothing more logical than to use the very source of your sustenance as the standard for all other value. It was the ultimate expression of a society's core priorities, turning the engine of their survival into the engine of their economy. So, from immovable stones and divine beans to ocean shells and living animals, we've seen that the concept of money is a fluid, adaptable idea, shaped by the environment, technology, and beliefs of a society. These ancient currencies are not just historical oddities. They are powerful reminders that value is a social contract. It's a story we agree to tell each other. Whether that story is about the perilous journey of a rye stone or the divine origin of a cacao bean, it's the shared belief in the story that gives the object its power as a medium of exchange. These systems reveal the incredible creativity of our ancestors in solving one of humanity's most fundamental problems. How do we trade with each other? This journey through the past naturally prompts a question about the future. We've moved from shells to salt, to metal coins, to paper notes, to plastic cards, and now to digital bits of information, cryptocurrencies that exist only as entries in a global, decentralized ledger. In a way, we've come full circle, back to a form of currency, much like the rye stones of Yap, whose value is based purely on a shared digital consensus, a story we all agree is true. It makes you wonder what the next chapter in the story of money will be. As we rocket towards a future of artificial intelligence, space colonization, and resource scarcity. What new objects or ideas will we imbue with value? Will it be data, units of energy, access to clean water? The history of currency teaches us that whatever it is, it will reflect what we, as a society, need, desire, and believe in most. The cosmic wallet is ever expanding. The only limit is our own imagination. So, as always, my friends, I invite you to keep thinking, keep questioning, and keep looking up. And if you enjoyed this journey through the fascinating world of ancient and future money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more intriguing videos just like this. We'd love to have you join our community. See you in the next one.